interesting, man. I mean, if you look at it now, it's simple. The games were simple, but they were fun, and they'd hold your attention. And you know what I'm saying, you would actually, I mean, you spend a lot of time on those games, and a lot of quarters, and all that other stuff, man. You would spend a lot of times on it for real. What else? All right, so with those video games, man, they transformed. I mean, if you look at the video games now, it's like they almost look like reality almost. You know what I'm saying? Everything is transformed into a serious reality, and the games are a whole lot more serious now. Probably a lot more violent now. But back then, you know what I'm saying, the games that came out at that time, your Double Dragon, man, Double Dragon was awesome, man. I would spend so many times going through those boards on Double Dragon. You know, I felt like Double Dragon, I wasn't wasting my quarters on it, man. Some of them games, man, take your quarters so fast, you had to have a whole pocket full of quarters. For real. Crazy. Shout out to Miss Queen, who also joined. Said, who else did I miss here? So we got Miss Queen. Who else? I think I caught up with everybody that's in. All right, I'll catch up with some of this chat we got here. Man, Ninja also said, my parents would play the entire albums of Luther, Freddie, Billy Ocean, etc. When they had those parties where we had to stay in the back room unless we needed something to drink or eat. Exactly. And the other thing that Ninja said was Kung Fu. That is correct, man. Kung Fu theater on Saturdays was off the chain. I just found a channel on Roku that had Kung Fu, like a Kung Fu channel. So I'm going to try to get my Kung Fu game back up, man. But Kung Fu on Saturdays, no joke, man. Those movies, I mean, even though the overdub is excessively crazy, you can't beat some of those shows, man. Some of those Kung Fu shows that are out, man. I mean, it was just like a nostalgia that comes upon you, you know, from those games. Shout out Chief Rock, another X Squad affiliate who's here in the chat. Good morning to you, brother. Let's see. All right, so past skating in the arcades, we all know you had the barbecues coming up. We still have that. That's one thing we will continue to have is barbecues. But it seemed like back in the day barbecues a little bit different from today. I really can't put my finger on it, but it had a different element to it. I mean, of course, times change, but the fun level at the barbecues back in the day seemed to just be of a different caliber. You know what I'm saying? A different caliber, I say. But nonetheless, it was still fun. Do y'all remember when we talk about video games, because I didn't do justice on all the video games. Of course, someone shouted Donkey Kong in there. But back in the day, you had your NBA Jam. You had your NBA Live. You had your first Madden that came out. This before NBA 2K and all that stuff came out in NFL 2K. But you had Madden. Madden was the one that started the dynasty of the games. I mean, even before that, you had your Lakers versus Celtics before NBA Live, and then you had Tecmo Bowl before you had Madden. So there were some other games that preceded, but those games were awesome games, man. I'm telling you, the level of competition was crazy when it came to those games, and those game systems back then that you were able to bring home were awesome, man. The Atari 2600 and then the Atari 5200. But remember, they had that knockoff Atari too that you get from Sears. I can't remember what it was called, but it was like something with the 26 in it. But it was basically the same thing as an Atari. Played Atari games, but it came from Sears, and you still had that same level of fun being able to play those games. And do y'all remember what the heck was the name of the game with the cannons? Was it Combat? I think it was Combat. But you had the cannons, and you could switch over to planes, and you can switch to a warplane. I mean, a bomber. But yeah, those games are crazy, man. Atari had some serious games, and having an Atari system back in the day, man, you were the man. I mean, everybody would come to your house because you were the man on the block. I mean, for real. I mean, that's how it was. Seriously. Coming up, I came up in Virginia, Tidewater, Newport News, Hampton, Norfolk, Virginia Beach, that area, the 757. Shout out to anybody from there that's listening. And like I said, we came up, the music that was being played at that time pretty much was influenced from up north. So it would filter down from up north, from the New York area, and come down. And that's pretty much the rest of the country as well, because New York was pretty much the trendsetters and style setters and everything else of the time. So things would flow down from up top and come down. I fell in love with hip hop back in that day. You know what I'm saying? That was your Curtis Blow, and that was your Rapper's Delight with Sugar Hill Gang. You even had Sequence and Finesse with they were the first female rap group. But the music at that time was a fun party hip hop at the time. We had, like I said, a station, WRAP, 850, or was it 750? 750, 850. I think it was 850, but they were an AM channel. That's right. It was an AM channel that had hip hop pretty much all day, and they were jamming, man. There's a guy here in Atlanta, Morris Baxter, who also was from the area, man. He was on a lot of those channels back in the day. We had a dude named AJ Ellison. I can't remember all those dudes that was on the radio, man. But they used to do it big, and the exposure to the music style back in the day, flowing down to my area, was crazy. Like I said, some of that music you heard, some of that electronic funk type stuff that you heard, the hip hop electronic funk that you hear in the skating rinks a lot of time, that was a main style of music that was being played in our area at the time. It flowed down, and the thing is, my mother was from Atlanta, my father was from New York, from the Bronx, so we had relatives up top, and we would go and visit. Now, when we went to visit New York, I'm telling you, it was a whole new world. We're going to take us a break, and when I come back, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about my experience in New York and my version of fun in New York. And I'm going to tell you, it was amazing. And I'm telling you, we got some cats from New York here in the room, and they'll be able to vouch for it. All right. See you when we come back.
All right, let's pause for a break.
Let Whole Team Enterprises be the #1 source for all your marketing needs. They specialize in web design, graphic design, videography, flyer printing, t-shirt printing, web hosting, and more. For your business or next event, be sure to reach out to Whole Team Enterprises at www.wholeteam.com.
Be sure to get your car serviced by the professionals at ICN Services, located in the Buckhead area of Atlanta. They are a full-service automobile concierge service who are an on-site automobile detailing provider with the advantages of their come-to-you service. Your car can get their needs taken care of while you continue your day. They will take your vehicle to appointments, inspections, repairs, returns, and more. Find them online at www.itscleannow.com or reach them at 404-934-0675.
Go see my guys at Platinum Auto Accessories in Lithonia, Georgia. They can get your car audio needs tight. In addition to the audio enhancements, they specialize in visual enhancements for your car as well. Lighting, rims, alarm systems, remote starts, and more. Visit Kevin and James with some of the best deals in the Atlanta metro area. Conveniently located at 2648 Lithonia Industrial Boulevard, off I-20 and the Evans Mill exit. Also give them a call at 678-323-7888. Mention this ad for a special discount. Friends of the Kicking It with Keith C show.
You've reached Kicking It with Keith C show.
No tricks in 86. It's time to build. Check out the Doug Stewart Show Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time right here on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. It's sports talk. It's guy talk. It's fun talk. Once again, that's the Doug Stewart Show. One half of the world-famous Two Live Stews, Doug Stewart. Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time at StewartMediaAndEntertainment.com. Trust me, you'll have more fun than you can shake a stick at. And I got one question for you. Are you not entertained, huh?
SME, this is the #1 Chief Rocker Jersey Vern coming into you live with his recap show. And only one out here know how to do it. And just like I tell the ladies.
What's that, Rocker?
3 hours straight, non-stop, no commercial interruption, no music. It's me and only me. So get ready, come and join me. And just like the ladies tell the rocker.
What's that, Rocker?
If you ain't ready for it, don't come at all. This is the #1 Chief Rocker on the SME. Jersey Vern doing the ride.
Yeah. We're back. Kicking it with KC. Thanks for joining us here. And we're having a good time talking about things from the old school. Fun from the old school, I should say. Thanks for joining me at KC.com, XSquadAffiliate.com. Listen to me on Spreaker. If you want to interact, feel free to join in the chat bubbles. Just click on the bubble and then you can join into our chat room and interact with us. Got a nice full room, folks. People interacting. Thanks for listening to my sponsors. Shout out to SME, Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, which we're broadcasting live over as well. And before I went on break, I spoke about the times when we actually would take summers or winters, just a vacation in New York, specifically the Bronx. What I remember is having an awesome time there. I remember because my grandmother, she was a school teacher, and so she was very cultured. And we would go there. We would have tickets to the Rockette shows. We would see. I think we saw the Wiz live there. We saw the Michael Jackson show. That was when your boy, what's his name, Carlton from the Fresh Prince. I just forgot his real name that fast. But that's when he was playing Michael Jackson. I mean, he could dance, man. That dude right there was, woo, man. He was talented. I mean, he still can dance, but that dude right there would mimic the Michael Jackson move so good. And that show that he had on Broadway was something serious, man. It had a nice long run too. But we would visit there. I do remember, walking to a store called Pathmark up top, Pathmark grocery store. We would go up there, man. We had the bomber jackets on. You know what I'm saying? Cold outside. I had the bomber. I had the Gazelles on, Kango. You know what I'm saying? That was the dress back in those times, man. Do you remember the rock belt? It seemed like I saw that make a comeback, man. But you had this belt where you actually could spell a word out on it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you would call yourself, your nickname. But it actually let you put letters on the belt. You rock that. And then even a time period when you had parachute pants. We rocked the parachute pants. Man, they had a variety of colors. Most of the time, dudes would rock blue, red, or black. You know what I'm saying? I might have seen some fools wearing white parachute pants, but these pants was all tight and shit and all slippery. But, so when you break dancing, man, it let you get that good slickness, man. You could windmill, backspin, all that stuff easily with these pants. But they were big back then, man. I mean, the phase was crazy then.